7 hours on Sunday. I mean, it's good to go to church, but do you need 7 hours of church? I'm looking back and I see a lot of you fellas will be sound asleep just like me. Okay? And they thought the Native Americans, they called the Native Americans the children of the devil. Folks paid for it. Federal funding.
That's right.
$7 billion. 7 years, they said, negative. 23 billion. 16 years. Right here. Interstate 93 and 90 come into Boston. And it came into an S-turn. You'd be going 60 miles an hour. As we come down here, we're going to go right by it. You will all see it. You're going to see a little piece of history. The State House. Our old State House. This was built in 1713. It sits like a little cottage in the midst of a redwood forest. Sits right amongst the skyscrapers. The British governors would rule from here. When we finally got the British regulars out of Boston's family, but there's 3 signers of the Declaration of Independence in there. Sam Adams, you know, the troublemaker. John Hancock, Robert Tree Payne. I call it All-Star Burying Ground because Paul Revere is buried there. Yep. Franklin's family. James Otis. You want to see John Hancock? That's why they call it the Common, and bought it for $150 from William Blackston, our first settler. George Washington. Okay? He took over the troops after the Battle of Bunker Hill. He marched the troops right out here. Right here. Pirates, criminals, witches, and Quakers were hanged right on the common. You know. The Battle of Bunker Hill buried in there. Very, very important person buried in there. He came up with a crossword puzzle. He's 7 down and 6 across. I was just spoofing, I'm sorry. Thousands of tulips. This is a great time to walk. Okay, you can see some of the tulips now. And another famous little display is Mrs. Mallard and her 8 is the Cheers pub. You'll see the little sign and the Cheers sign as well. It's the busiest pub in Boston. Look to our right. Look at this home. Beautiful, beautiful home. Notice what happened. They'd fill in 200 yards or so. They'd build up 5 or 6 steps because the back bay would flood. All right? And, you know, the servants would live in the basement. They'd get flooded out. Now, this is Commonwealth Avenue. Beautiful, beautiful street. When my ship comes in, that's where I'm moving, that street. Some lady last year, she said, Colonel Duct Tape, if your ship isn't in by your age, I doubt it's coming in. Arlington Street Church, first church in the Back Bay, 1861. If you went in there, there is 16 Tiffany stained glass windows worth well over $1 million a piece. If you walk down, okay, this is Boylston Street. This is where the marathon ends, okay? Down about 1,000 yards. In Copley Square, they do have a memorial, okay? But he stopped running marathons after that. Isn't that quite a guy? 84 years old, he ran that far. So anyway, the Swan boats have been run by the Pageant family for 150 years. The suspension bridge, if you ever get on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and they ask you where the shortest suspension bridge in the world is, you say, Boston, public garbage, and have water. But it was full of frogs. But this is really bad news. The frogs croaked, and we had to fill it in. I know. How many people feel like your IQ's dropping? Okay, we're on a duck today. What happens to a duck if he flies upside down? He quacks up.
Right, so.
You don't want to hear any more jokes, do you?
Is that a joke?
Somebody who grew up in Boston, he moved to the West Coast, and he came back after 30 years, and he says, I cannot believe how beautiful Boston is, you know? Hey, look at how good looking my group is. Where'd you get that group from? Where are you guys from? They're from all over the country. They're really important.
They're really important.
Yes.
That's a shame.
They're marijuana growers from California. Pro windows. Don't unzip them. Just push them out and jump right into 48-degree water. And somebody will pick us up momentarily. Okay? Just huddle together to stay warm. Okay? Now, we have a Coast Guard radio here. Okay? Coast Guard radio here. Nextel phone here. Fire extinguisher here. Okay, but if you see me with a life jacket plunging out through the windshield area, you maybe should put yours on. Lainey, how you doing? You doing okay? Okay. All right. Once I get beyond the old Charles River Dam, I'm going to let a few of you drive the duck. Okay. And Lainey's going to be the first one because she needs to get up and get a little bit of exercise. Okay. Now. This cost $1 million. This ramp cost us $1 million brought to us by the Big Dig. I'm questioning if there's $1 million worth of granite here. Alright. So our prop is on. We are now under the jurisdiction of the Coast Guard. To work for duck tours, you have to have 90 days in the water within the last 3 years, and that would qualify you for a Coast Guard license. We call it the best dead-end job in the world. Because you're not going to go to the front office, all right? You're not going to the front office, and we really don't want to. We'd rather be out here with you folks, you know? Yeah, that's right. So, anyway. Yeah, this is the hardest job of ever. This has been really difficult. I'm thinking about moving to Virginia, maybe. Maybe I'll move up to Lake Tahoe. Yeah, do a little skiing. Alright, so here is the Charles River. This was named, many years ago, a fellow by the name of John Smith came over from England, and he charted New England, and he brought the charts back to the king, and he gave it to his 15-year-old with a Museum of Science. You see the blind dinosaur over there? See underneath the arch? Everybody say arch. Okay. You know what the name of the blind dinosaur is? Do you think he saw us? Do you think he saw us? No, I don't think he saw us. I don't think he saw us. He stole that from Jurassic Park. The little boy told that joke. Boston Harbor. Now remember, the Charles River was 3 times wider. Boston Harbor was located right here, and the ships would wait right here. This was back about 35 years ago. They'd open the drawbridge, they'd come into this lock. There's a set of lock doors this end, lock doors at the other end. They'd tie the ships off to the bollards and raise and lower the water. Meet the harbor. This is the deepest part of the river. The Charles River, the headwaters of the Charles River, are in Hopkinton, Massachusetts, the same place where the marathon starts. And it meanders 80 miles. And it ends in Boston. Right there. Okay.
Have you seen the duck in Hong
Really
Kong?
nice.
I didn't never see it.
Isn't that amazing?
All right, to be here, what you have to do, are you in sales? Is that what you're involved in?
I guess you could call it that.
Sales.
It's long, they're group leaders for travel.
Okay, group leaders for travel. Okay, all right. And you get all kinds of good deals for people, right?
Someone, yeah.
So, okay. All right.
Look at them.
Well, leveled by the Puritans in 1630. They were very intelligent. 70% of the Puritans could read. They were very intelligent. Guess what they called the new town they settled?
Newtown.
Newtown. Isn't that a great imagination? Okay. The first college in the United States was now. As we look down the river, that's the Harvard Bridge that goes into MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They're fairly intelligent. They've only given us 77 Nobel Prizes.
Wow.
Only 77. beyond the Harvard Bridge, 3 cement buildings identical, Boston University. If you went down 3 miles, you would come to Harvard. So that is Doppler radar. You don't play golf, do you? Yeah, well, that was a heck of a shot. I mean, it's a major golf point out there. Anyway, things going on. It's really neat. But these are the Finger Islands. And in the book, Robert McCluskey, remember he wrote Make Way for Ducklings. This is where the ducklings were raised, on these little tiny Finger Islands. And this is community boating. I head to our port side, our left side. You give them $1. Ages 10 to 18, the children give them $1 and they will teach you to sail all summer long for $1. Boston look like one of those irritating black flies we have out in New Hampshire. They bite the dickens out of you. They come out about the middle of May. All right, who else would like the brother who got the got the kidney? The good news? That isn't good news. Well, it might be good news. Who knows? He says he died. Well, he's right. That was the bad news. He died. Good. Nice. The first World Series, this is a miracle, was 1903. The Pittsburgh Pirates played the Boston Red Sox. We won. That was a miracle. Then we won in 1912, 15, 16, 18. How many people watched the Red Sox come down 3 and a reverse sweep? Was that awesome? And we could actually pull another duck right up the ramp. Our first year, one of the duck drivers missed the turn. He started going up that wall, but there was a bumper. He's no longer with us. And he ended up going into the tour industry. No, he's actually driving in San Francisco. We are going to have the second largest skateboard, if you look to our left, the second largest skateboard park in the country. It's going to be. Do you think they're in the right place at the right time for the Big Dig project? They gave 1/3 of the cement. 1/3 of the cement to the big bloodiest battle in the American Revolution. Charlestown has actually produced more bank robbers than any other town in the USA. It's also the home of the Constitution. Okay? This is where you can go and get, you know... Yeah, this is awesome. You go get 6 limes for $1, all kinds of good deals. But when you go over there, okay? Don't ever touch the vendor's number. That's right. Here is Faneuil Hall, where the Gold Dome is. All right. Now, Peter Faneuil was left a fortune by his uncle. He built this brick building, 1742, gave it to the city of Boston. But the stipulation from the rich uncle was, you can't get married. Isn't that horrible to give him that stipulation? Peter died. His older brother got married. Guess who got the fortune? Let's give a cheer for the woman getting the fortune. 1 million numbers etched on each one of those towers to represent 6 million Jews exterminated World War II, the New England Holocaust. Don't get too close to the building tour going on over there. There's Sam. Down to the no-name restaurant. But I want to tell you a story, and I usually today, I would be driving a duck that was named after a very significant event. My duck's name is Molly Molasses. The year